But once I get all the sheep on this side, we'll be in good shape. Or good sheep, or something. And welcome back to Going Hard here on Music Free Gaming. It is great to have you here, and I'm here by my sheep pen because I need to do a little something with all of these sheep. And that little something means locking them in a tiny box and leaving them shorn of all dignity and wool. That's right, it's time for a wool farm. So here's the deal. I have this area on top of my, creeper farm really is what it is, where I want to build a wool farm. Now, I'm actually planning ahead. I know, nobody get too panicked or anything, but I'm going to want to hit a deep dark eventually, and that's going to require a lot of wool. So I think I want to get the wool started here so that it will eventually be enough for me to put into use while fleeing in terror from wardens. Most wool farms look something like this, where you've got a dispenser, you have an observer looking at a grass block, and when the sheep eats the grass, the observer fires off, powers some redstone that is pointing at your dispenser, which then shears the sheep. The problem with this is it takes up a lot of space. Now, I was playing around the other day trying to condense this into a small area, and the more I tried to condense it, the stupider and more broken it got. So, I'm not going to use this design at all. Because, no, I just don't need to. The nice thing about this design is you can have it basically auto sorts because the sheep will only output one type of wool. But I don't want to put all of my storage for the wool farm where I have to go into the farm. Hence this stone thingy here that I actually have labeled. And I might actually have output for 2 stacks of white blocks. But if I'm going to move all of the chests over here, I might as well set up storage. And you can see the outlines for an Impulse SV sorter here. That was to give me an idea of how much space I needed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up some space here. And I'm going to use this space, and I'm going to use it in a nice, semi-efficient way so I can fit a lot more sheep into a smaller area. Or, you know, the same amount of sheep into a smaller area. That's fine too. So here's the deal. I've got all of this grass, and you think, oh yeah, sure, the sheep will go here. It'll be great. No. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sheep up here at this level, okay? What I'm going to put under it are rails for a hopper minecart, okay? Awesome. The reason I'm putting these on grass is the grass will spread up through one block, through this air gap, which will help this, when the sheep eat this grass and it turns to dirt, this will help regenerate that faster. I'm also going to run some grass around the outside of it as a way to help it grow. In fact, might as well put that in now. So the hope and dream here is that I'm going to have enough grass, and the reality is I don't. At least not in my hands. The hope and dream here is that I can get enough sheep into this area that they'll eat, and this will keep up with grass replenishment. Now, let's get a few other things. Like, I'm going to want some glass and some other stuff up here. But let's get some other stuff in place and finish building up the sheep pen. So step 1 is really, really simple. We're going to just line this with some glass. And I think what I'll do is I'll take some cyan glass right around the outside here. Okay. Now, placing glass, it turns out, is really hard. And I should maybe get good. And then we'll run some blue glass along the top. Now, the reality is, I'm never going to see this. Once the sheep are in place, I plan on never entering this building again. That really is the reality of this. However, I do need to be able to get into it now, so we'll leave this open for the moment. All right, so here's the magic, the way this farm works. You see, sheep are actually taller than 1 block, which is kind of cool. So what you can do is you can put dispensers up above the sheep, like 2 blocks high. Does help if they're facing the right way, right? And the sheep, as they stand under the dispensers, if they fire with shears inside them, we'll clippy all their happy wool and drop it straight down onto the ground. And that's where the hopper minecart comes in, right? So that's where this is going to work. And you can fit, like the traditional sheep farm, you fit 1 sheep per grass block. You could actually squeeze more sheep in as you want to, but I think I'm still going to fit with that same basic idea of 1 sheep per glass block, and that puts me at, I think, 18 sheep. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 18 sheep. So 1 of each color plus a couple of extras. So the way this works is I'm just going to run a bunch of redstone right along the top of all of these dispensers. So the idea is these, when I get a redstone pulse through this repeater, it will light up this whole mess and it's going to be awesome. It'll fire all the dispensers and everything's going to go beautifully. At least that's the plan. I should probably test that here in a minute. So let's do that by slapping this redstone block in. Now, make sure everything is lit up. Yep, everything has power, so that's awesome. But I don't want to leave that redstone block there, right? Because that's just silliness. So what I'm going to do is build a nice etho hopper clock right under this. All right, so hopper clock deployed. I'm going to add 32 dirt to this. So what'll happen is every, 32, not quite seconds, but ticks or whatever it is, it will light up this redstone and fire all of the shears, right? And that's right. The dispensers will go, the shears will go clip the sheep, right? All that good stuff. Yeah. So that is the plan. Now, once that's all done, right? Then it switches back, and so just every few seconds, it will shear all of the sheep. And that's based on what I've on my testing in creative, that should be enough that I'm not going to have to worry about sheep sitting around with wool on them for too long. The other good news is with 1 switch, I should be able to turn this farm off, which is going to be really, really convenient. And because I can't make decisions right the first time, I decided to move the clock to the other side. I think this is actually going to work out a little bit nicer for a build and for getting sheep into the farm. So we're gonna do that, but it still works the same way. So the next thing to do, I think, is to figure out where the storage is going to be. That's going to help sort of guide the rest of this mess. So here's where the storage is going to go, and I'm definitely going to have to build out some sort of porch or something this way for all of this, so I can get over here and reach these chests. But the storage is going to go here. Now, I am going to be building, as I mentioned before, some Impulse SV sorters up this way. Great. So, with that said, I need to figure out where I'm going to basically run this rail line so I can bring this minecart, this hopper minecart that's going to pick up the wool all the way around here to drop off the stuff so it gets fed into this hopper line here. And I think the way this is going to work, because I'm going to have sorters coming out this way, is I might actually have to extend out this way a bit and maybe put in a dropper elevator feeding into basically a hopper line sitting on top here. All right, so what I decided to do was actually really simple and probably really, certainly not the most efficient way of doing this. So the minecart is going to whip around here, bouncing back and forth. And it feeds into hoppers on both sides. So as it'll go this way, right, it'll go down, suck some stuff up, drop into hoppers this way, bounce back, suck more stuff up, drop stuff into hoppers. Okay. And then what I decided to do is just come out and just build a long hopper line over there to the item elevator. Efficient way to do that? Not even a little bit. But the good news is this minecart is going to work out just fine. Cool. So now I have really part of the system in place. Okay. All of the mechanics are in place now, except for the filters on the sorting system. And I need shears and all of the dispensers. So we'll get those in place, and I'll start bringing in sheep. Now, I think what'll happen is I'll actually bring in a sheep, make sure I've got them dyed the right color, and we'll fill out the all these hoppers, right, all the filters, as I bring the sheep in. I'm going to try something. I've never tried this before. I also need to go get a lead, but I've got some scaffolding here, right? Now, the plan is to be able to get out of the scaffolding, so let's actually do that. But the plan is to pull the sheep into the scaffolding and then drag them up, right? Well, sheep can't go down scaffolding. They can only go up. Scaffolding is a one-way thing for mobs. So the plan here for me is to drag a sheep through here, right? Drag them in here, pull them up, and then they should be up and then in the farm. Now, I may have to do some coaxing to get them all the way down to the end, but that's easy enough because wheat is cool. So let's test this with our first sheep. All right, so step one is I'm going to break some of this glass and grab this sheep. Let's just meander right on over here. Yep, right up this way. Is he going to come in? Maybe. This is where... Oh, yeah. See, there he goes. And now the sheep is up and in the farm. Oh, that is ideal. Wonderful. I should maybe set up some filters and stuff first. But the next time... Oops, let's get the sheep out... The wheat out of my hand. But the next time these things fire off... So there we go. Sheared the sheep. And... Now, unfortunately, it's going to get stuck in the far end of the line. You can see it. It went up there. It's just going to end up all the way over here because... Yep, there it is. Because I don't have any filters set up. But that's all there is to it. So we'll just need to start getting other colors of sheep over here. And this is going to work great. Let's go, sheep. All of you, we're gonna do this. All of you are going to come with me. Right? That's right. Here we go. We've got great fun ahead of us. And so let's do it. All right. Got the last batch of sheep. These guys have been a little bit of a pain, but it's all right. We've got them all now. And see if I can get them all up into the farm. The brown and the black ones are the last ones of color that I needed. I've now confused all the sheep. But once I get all the sheep on this side, we'll be in good shape. Or good sheep, or something. Yes, I did do that joke. I'm sorry. I apologize to you and all of our ancestors. And that is it. All of the filters are set so that this farm is now fully functional, fully sorted. You can see the minecart running around, picking up the wool that's been dropped. So as the sheep get sheared, and I said this should recharge that grass nicely. But yeah, so those will fill up. They've got to get up to like 40, 41, I think. And we should be good to go. Now, as I said, I've got extra wool, white sheep in there. So the white wool will fill up pretty quick. But that's it. That is a farm complete. So I was up here putting these hoppers in for a nice way of loading the shears into these dispensers, right? And I realized I don't need this clock. I already have a clock. It's a hopper minecart clock. I've got this thing running back and forth over all this stuff, right? Because it's going. Well, as it does, I can have it hit an activator rail and come up this way, right? And let's just take all of this out, right? And all I need to do is basically just run redstone up here. And so every time it runs across, as it runs back and forth, it will fire off everything instead of needing this clock up here. So I'm going to tear this out, save myself a little bit of resources, and then I can figure out what I want to do with a system to load the shears in here. But that's going to be a lot. It's just a lot simpler doing it this way. Now that the farm is complete, it is functionally done. It actually works. I know, I made redstone things that work. It's shocking. But now it's time to actually decorate this thing and make it look like a nice little house up here with all of the rest of this stuff. So let's get to that. Now, my plan for this is I'm going to basically use birch logs as sort of the main sort of neutral aspect of this house, right? Just like this one, it's stone brick, and that one, it's cherry wood or cherry planks. This one, it's going to be the stripped, yeah, the stripped birch. Now, I think what I want to do, yes, cat, I hear you. I think what I want to do is come at this maybe with a little bit of cherry log on the side, okay? And get this sort of dark purpley color with it. I think that's going to be a nice combination. And then I think overall, I'm going to give this a little bit of a, maybe a little bit of a cottagecore-ish type vibe, but something that's definitely a little more colorful like that, but not nearly, or maybe not quite as bright as that, but not quite as sort of austere as my stone and spruce thing is. So let's play with this. So I am going to want a door back into this area. Now, I've got my minecart clock, apparently, and I've rigged the redstone up to do two things, really. But one is it fires all of the dispensers to shear the sheep, and two, it fires this minecart with chest up here that's holding shears to refill all of the dispensers. Now the dispensers are all full, the minecart's full, and these double chests are both full of shears. So the reality is I will probably never need to get back here, but it'll be nice to have the option. So I just need to make sure I can get in and around all of this stuff. And that includes this area here. So I think what I'll do, because that's all glassed in, is I can take out all of this stuff. And maybe what I'll do is on this side, I'll go ahead and give myself some room, but I'll basically connect it here to this hill. And we'll come around here. So it's like it's built right up against the hill because it is. That seems like it'll be a fun little, just a little fun little design quirk. Okay, I think I've got a reasonable idea for a sort of a canopy roof thingy over this, right? As I'm just going to take the wool and just build this lovely colorful dealy bob up here, right? Now, I think I want to do a little something up top, and I don't know. I mean, I want the roof to extend this way, so I'm not sure how I want it to interface with the wool there and all of the other stuff. Cat's not as helpful as it could be. Plus, I want to get in here and do a little something along the inside here, but I think this is a good start. So we'll play with this, and hey, through the power of editing, we'll bring you back and you can see all the fun progress. I think I've got a pretty reasonable shape to the front here as I've been coming along the sides, trying to get them up at least to a reasonable height partially. As I'm thinking here, I need to get a roof in, it needs to slant up, and it needs to be tall enough to cover those chests while still allowing me to open those chests. Deep slate is often my choice for roofs because it looks great. But honestly, with as bright and colorful as this is, I think I am going to try a little blackstone and just see how the blackstone looks. Just right now we'll go at the same height. And then what I could do is drop in some stairs here. But if I do this, oops, that's a stair. I recognize it from its ability to blast love and joy into the hearts of cartoon villains. Or no, wait, that's Care Bears. I'm sorry, those are Care Bear stairs. Blackstone stairs are a little different, but you know, I still love them anyway, despite their differences. Well, this is looking better. I do need to finish a little bit here, but I brought the color up a little further, which is good. And I decided I didn't want to bring the roof here over this cutout, but I don't want to change the shape of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide in here, and hopefully I've got enough birch to bring that up. I also think I'm going to bring in some slabs around some of this, but the basic shape of the roof, though, I think is pretty good. So I went through a little bit between streams and started putting in some windows. Now, I took a technique from Good Times with Scar. Okay, it's a really simple thing, but I blocked out the windows using mud. So these are panes, and then there's mud behind. Just to have the windows there, but yeah, obviously you can't see into the building because the lights are off. Now this window here, it's a little funky because there wasn't room. Where that pushes in is the item elevator for the farm. And I could have pushed this out one more block, but I didn't want to. So, I didn't. So the next thing to do now is to get all of the detailing around the windows. And I think what I'm going to do is I built this little bit of stone brick, whatever it is, just to have a way to get around the outside of the building while I was working on it. But if I free cam out and look at it, I think it's actually would be really cool to build that out as sort of a walk around patio. So I guess I'm going to do that. So let's get into the details. I got this lovely dark oak frame around the window, which is awesome. I want to put some color here, and I tried cherry trapdoors and they just sort of faded into the birch. So I think what I want to get here is some, or at least I want to try it, some warped crimson stem trapdoors, right? And the warped trapdoors would be, I think they would look awesome because English is a language I speak on occasion. The problem is I don't have any, which means I have to head out into the nether, and not the safe nether roof, but the scary nether over there. So let's go be scary. All right, one successful trip to the nether later, and I now have some nice warped crimson trapdoors. Now, these are definitely working a little nicer than the pink. Actually, I kind of like that. The pink was too light. It was fading into the birch. But the crimson gives a nice little accent here. Okay, well, I think I've got enough. But if I don't, I brought back nylium and fungus and stuff so that I can grow a lot more of those trees if I need to. All right, I'm really liking this chiseled blackstone with chains as rails along this patio. Okay, I think that's going to work out nicely. I don't know what I'm going to do with the corners yet, But I think what would be really cool is some form of light. Maybe not at every one, but a little bit of some form of lantern or something sticking up here might give this a really, really nice look. Well, this is just weird, but I can't say I've never made a banner before, but that was, what the heck are you doing up there? I mean, no, seriously, what the heck? I'm down here, dude. You're lost, man. What party did you leave that you had way too much of the Mountain Dew and now you decide you have to be on my roof? And why did you drag these poor llamas into it? Honestly, I think you need to make better life choices. Seriously, better life choices. I think we've got something worked out here for guardrails and lamps around the outside. Did some playing with the banners and patterns, which I have never really done before. And we tried some different colors, but on stream. So, hey, come check out the streams. Streams are awesome. But we settled on the pink. So it's a pink banner with cyan, a couple of cyan patterns on it. And I think this gives a much better look. When it was just plain cyan, it just looked plain. But we've got a good look here, and I think it's one I might adapt and put on my shield even, because I think that would be awesome. But for now, I'm going to go around the rest of the building, putting up some guardrails and lanterns. Did you just hurt your llama? You did. How dare you, sir? How dare you? You and your roof walking ways with your party-induced whatever, and you hurt that poor llama. You apologize to him. Apologize now, because seriously, that llama did not deserve to fall off the roof. One of these days, I will get things right the first time, but don't hold your breath, because I am not responsible for any asphyxiation that comes from people who hold their breath waiting for me to get things right the first time. This has been a message from Music Free Gaming Safety Society or something. You ever start to realize that you know yourself well enough that's like, okay, I'm going to jump through this one extra hoop so I don't do something really, really stupid? That is kind of where I'm at sometimes. You know, it's like, I could do something like this, or if I do it just a little differently, I could not accidentally get rid of the one peony that I have. I will 100% make that mistake if I'm not careful. Oh yeah, creeper hugs are definitely a thing. I can't wait. I mean, I would love to get into the YPP here on YouTube so I can add emotes and put my... Oh, jeez! Creepers! Okay, no! I wasn't scared! I wasn't scared at all! Yes, I knew that creeper was there, but no! No! Nope. No, not at all scared. And I think I'm done. Creeper scares aside. Yeah, this was looking great. Going with the banners was definitely a good choice with the banner patterns and stuff. Definitely shout out to everyone in my chat, especially Lady Tavona, who helped me settle on colors for this. Oh, this is looking good. And you come out free cam up and around this, and yeah, everything is looking great. Could there be a little bit more? I could put some birch planks on this wall. Yeah, definitely. But all in all, I'm happy with this. So I think we can call this wolf farm done. Well, that is going to do it for me today. I'm loving how this turned out. And if you do too, or just hung out to this far in the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. You know the drill. And until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Gaming, signing off.